While in Cozumel this week, I saw a gentleman with three kids and his wife. They went on a tour that we went on, and she was on a single crutch. Looked like she might have a dislocated hip or a broken hip or something. Like, it's been that way for a while though, because she's already learned to move her body in such a way as to get that leg to go where it's supposed to, and even to climb steps with it that way. But the thing that really broke my heart was the fact that the father had abdicated his responsibilities to the degree that getting in and out of the shuttle bus, he was detached mentally somehow from what was going on with his three kids, and the bus driver helped his wife in and out of the bus. He was very little engaged in that aspect of it. When they brought a wheelchair to help her get around the venue, the son jumped in the wheelchair and Mom walked alongside it for a few minutes. Then the kids fought over who was going to push it, and Dad didn't have anything to say about it. And every step of the journey, I watched this little 10 or 12-year-old boy dominate the entire scene. He jumped on the bench when they brought a bench over for Mom, but he never helped to get one. He jumped in the wheelchair when they brought it over for Mom, but he didn't really want to help push it. He ran in and out of the scenes in front of people's cameras, tried to touch the live animal. It was unruly. Somewhat well behaved. He wasn't screaming or anything, but he didn't show a lot of respect or honor for his mother or even for his sisters. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. That kind of behavior, while very mild by comparison to a lot of other kids that age, it's a leading indicator. It's the beginning of something. And the lack of honor for his own mother to say, Mom, you should sit down. You can barely walk, much less stand while we go through these tours. Please have a seat. I would expect that common decency to arrive in a young man of that age just because that's his mom. But it wasn't there. And the way that he treated his two younger sisters, there just wasn't honor demonstrated. But it seemed like, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, I'm just trying to be honest, it seemed like Dad was kind of checked out. He didn't scold his son until the behavior got so bad that everybody else was looking at him going, what gives with this guy? But he wasn't really actively engaged. And I just wonder how many of us as dads don't realize the lack of impact that we're having, where the impact we should be having is so desperately needed. Now, it's easy to go overboard and to be too disciplinarian and become abusive. It's easy also to completely check out and not even be present as a dad. And being a dad is hard work. There's no doubt. I've raised 4. I've got 2 boys still at home, but that's not easy work. But checking out is not the answer either. I have to agree with T.D. Jakes that a lot of our problem as men, being fathers, that we've simply never been led that way ourselves. Many of us grew up in a generation where Dad worked 50, 60 hours a week or more. And so there was never Dad there to show us what it means to be a dad, to be a man. The life changes that are going on, the struggles in relationships, the challenges with finances, the career moves. We've never seen that handled well. We don't know what that would look like if it stumbled on us. And yet, as men, as leaders in our home, leaders in our community, we have to understand that there are also boys out there who have no father figure in their life. They have no man to look up to. Just before we went on our trip, I was at Discount Tire, and there was a little guy that was there with his mom. She's a single mom in her mid-20s. He was 6 or 7 years old. And he kept getting in my private space, right up against my leg, and as if he was a cat looking for a pet, or a dog that wanted to be scratched behind his ears. And so I tussled his hair a couple of times, and she apologized. And I said, you don't have to apologize. It's the grandpa in me. It's like a magnet to kids. They just come to me from everywhere. And she kind of laughed. She said, my dad has the same problem. I said, I think it's a common problem with men who love kids that when they love them genuinely and honestly and right, that kids know that. They're like pets. They know a good owner when they see one. Kids know when they're being loved and not abused as well. And young boys can't become young men without men in their life to inspire them, to lead them, and to demonstrate. Let me challenge you. If you are the son of a single mom, find a man in your life who will mentor, who will lead you, who will answer those tough questions that mom can't answer. And if you can't find one, send me a private message, and I'll step into that role the best of my ability. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.